Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. This is our last session in our four-part iGear and Ignition Better Together webinar series. Today's session, Ignition meets Microsoft Teams, real-time collaboration where you work. I'm Brooks Corfage, the Sales and Integrator Program Lead, and joined today by Sydney Wall, Customer Success Engineer. In manufacturing and industrial operations, there are countless systems that detect and display alarms, specifically critical events. They include machines and automatic systems like PLCs, HMIs, SCADA packages, and MES. They also include maintenance systems, so your CMMS and EAM platforms, visual and audio signals, so stack lights and on displays and two-way radios, and then people, so operators, technicians, and supervisors, those out on the plant floor. The problem is these systems detect and display events, but none really manage how humans respond. So machines talk, alarms are often broadcasted through HMIs and plant floor signals, but the human response is not visible. The now what actions. Made worse, downtime can exceed $32,000 per minute in some industries like automotive, and teams are stretched very thin, extrapolating this issue. They need a digital tool to respond faster and smarter to reduce downtime. Today, we're going to focus on ignition-related alarms and events. When an ignition alarm occurs, you know exactly when it was detected, and you can see that it eventually gets resolved. The challenge is everything in between. The human processes are often slow and inconsistent because they're typically reactive, so teams scramble to put out fires. They're manual, paper logs, verbal instructions, and informal handoffs with no record to reference. And they're uncaptured. So critical know-how is stored in people's heads that have been there for 20 or 30 years, not digital systems. This visual highlights the gap, what happened in between the human response layer. And that's where the key questions come in. So first would be, who is even notified of the event? Often it's unclear because alerts are broadcasted on the shop floor, so HMIs, production displays, and stack lights. So a lot of people see or hear something happen, but there's no targeted delivery or confirmation. The result is the right person may miss the event while everyone else gets overloaded with information that does not pertain to them. Next, we have when did they respond? We often can't say with confidence because there's no reliable timestamp. The start of the action isn't captured consistently, so response time is usually estimated after the fact. Who acknowledged the problem and took ownership? Today, it's typically open loop. Problem gets magnified when multiple events are happening at once. Again, there's no formal acknowledgement or assignment, so it's unclear who's working on what. The ownership gets assumed, handed off verbally or via a radio, and never clearly established where everyone can see in one place. What steps were taken? Actions are often fragmented and informal, so there's no structured record of what was done to resolve the issue. And when the issues stall, escalation is manual, so someone has to decide when to involve another team or management. Lastly, what can be learned for the next time? Without a digital trail, there's no dependable history of who acted on the event, what did they do, what worked, how long did it take. And really with all this, improvement becomes more guesswork instead of data-driven. So the old adage still applies, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but only if someone hears it squeak. And that's why we created Squeaks. It addresses this gap. It's addressing this missing layer and regarding the human response within the context of industrial critical event management. So really ensuring every event that takes place is seen, owned, acted on, resolved, and reviewed and learned from. It's a mobile-first digital layer that more effectively manages this human response. And the way we're doing that is via targeted notifications, integrated documentation, so automatically bringing in troubleshooting guides and PDFs that pertain to that specific event. Automated workflow guidance, so replacing those paper-based manual processes with this digital thread. Escalation rules, basically a squeak keeps squeaking until the issue is resolved, ensuring nothing slips through the cracks. Accountability, every event is seen, owned, acted on, resolved, and reviewed. And then lastly, again, that digital thread, it captures every action that was taken from the problem being detected to being resolved to help you drive continuous improvement and having a true reporting visual that you can use in your operations. So SQUEAKS is enabling teams to respond faster by providing visibility anywhere that you're located, eliminating those proximity constraints with targeted alerts, resolve issues faster with automated workflows and enhanced collaboration, and then reviewable. Data is now driven with insights and not just open communication, again, driving continuous improvement, a new data set you previously did not have. And all of this is available in Microsoft Teams, the platform our customers already use every day, improving collaboration by bringing real-time ignition data and alarms directly into conversations so teams can interact and take action on events that pertain to them. So now Sydney will begin this Better Together story by showing how we actually communicate and integrate with Ignition and Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, so when using Ignition to populate metrics and data sets within SQUEAKS, there's a couple different ways to bring that data in. And once the data is in SQUEAKS, it can be surfaced directly into Microsoft Teams for real-time visibility. So that first method shown kind of at the top here, you're going to use a script within an alarm pipeline. And when a tag value changes, the script will automatically send the new value to SQUEAKS, updating the corresponding metric in real time. Another option is to use a gateway timer script within Ignition, and this will run on kind of a set interval, sending data from Ignition to SQUEAKS at a predetermined time. For example, maybe every 5 minutes or every hour. Both approaches really make it easy to keep SQUEAKS updated with machine data directly from Ignition, whether you prefer to send those updates based on events or on a schedule. And then once that information is in SQUEAKS, it's immediately available to view within Teams. So now that we kind of know what we're getting, how we're getting information from Ignition into SQUEAKS, we're going to take a look at how the integration between SQUEAKS and Microsoft Teams is accomplished. So first, that SQUEAKS engine sends information out to the SQUEAKS Teams app, and this is where SQUEAKS messages, alerts, and other content are pushed into Teams using a secure outbound TLS connection. And the SQUEAKS Teams app can also send new or updated messages back into the SQUEAKS engine through the built-in SQUEAKS gateway. So this will allow users in Teams to interact with the SQUEAKS content and have those updates reflected in real time inside the SQUEAKS platform. So communication between Teams and SQUEAKS kind of begins when a user interacts with the Teams client, whether on a desktop, mobile, or on the web. And those interactions first are going to move through Microsoft Teams infrastructure in Azure, and then into the customer's Azure tenant, where the SQUEAKS Teams app is hosted. From there, the app communicates through the Azure Service Bus, which then passes through the customer's firewall, and finally will reach the SQUEAKS gateway. The gateway then will connect directly to the on-premise or private cloud SQUEAKS environment. So all of that communication across Microsoft Azure and all of the SQUEAKS components is going to be fully encrypted using transport layer security with the highest supported version automatically negotiated. So this will ensure that the entire architecture is secured from end to end. Another key advantage of this particular setup is that the SQUEAKS Teams app is deployed entirely within the customer's own Azure tenant. So this means that the customer will maintain full control of data residency, which is different from most Teams apps that operate within the vendor's cloud environment. So to complete this deployment, there will be a brief one-on-one session with iGear's customer success team and a customer representative who has an appropriate permissions to create resources within their Azure tenant. But this setup will ensure secure real-time communication between Teams and SQUEAKS. So with SQUEAKS, you're able to automatically push notifications out to mobile devices directly into Microsoft Teams. So that means that no matter where somebody is on the floor, at their desk, or away from their workstation, they're still getting the information that they need in real time. We also make sure that those notifications are going to the right people. So instead of blasting every alert to everyone, we're going to use targeted notification rules so that team members only receive the alarms that are relevant to their role or their line or maybe their responsibilities. And this really cuts down on the noise and helps people stay focused on what actually matters. This setup is also going to help accelerate response times. So interactive workflows and escalation rules are going to guide the right people through the steps needed to resolve an issue. So if something isn't acknowledged or handled within a certain time frame, it'll automatically escalate to the next level, making sure that nothing gets missed and issues are resolved faster. So here we're going to be looking at an example of an ignition HMI sending out an alert for a machine fault on op10. So as soon as that fault is triggered, a squeak is going to automatically be generated with key details such as which machine faulted, what the fault was, and depending on the type of issue, you can even attach troubleshooting documentation to help speed up the resolution. And these messages are also going to be delivered to the appropriate team members so that only the people who need to respond are notified. Here you're going to see those messages coming through the Teams app on both a laptop and a mobile device. This gives those team members the visibility they need to stay connected and react quickly, no matter where they are. So SQUEAKS uses structured problem-solving workflows that give team members clear step-by-step guidance on how to resolve the alarm. So instead of relying on memory or tribal knowledge, everyone follows the same process, which leads to faster and more consistent resolutions. SQUEAKS can also automatically attach the right supporting materials based on the alarm type coming from Ignition. So that means each alert can include troubleshooting text, training documents, electrical diagrams, or even how-to videos, whatever is most helpful for that specific issue. So that way, the moment an alarm fires, the responder will already have the information they need. And finally, SQUEAKS supports time-based escalation rules. If an ignition alarm isn't acknowledged or cleared within a certain amount of time, it can automatically escalate to the next level. This ensures closed-loop communication and helps prevent issues from sitting unnoticed or unresolved. Together, these tools make sure the alarms are handled quickly, consistently, and with the right information in front of the right people. So we're going to see here an alarm triggered from the ignition HMI, and as soon as that happens, the HMI button will begin flashing, indicating that SQUEAKS has automatically sent a notification out to the team. This really gives the operator confirmation that the alert was sent out. The SQUEAKS that sent includes the predefined workflow associated with that alarm, so the responder receives clear, guided steps on how to address that specific issue. And then when a team member claims that squeak, it'll update to show exactly who has taken responsibility, and at the same time, that action sends feedback directly back to Ignition. So you'll see the HMI button shift from that flashing state to a solid state, which will let that operator know the alarm has been acknowledged and someone is on the way. From there, the responder can work through the structured workflow steps in the squeak to ensure the issue is resolved consistently and correctly. So we're going to see a squeak triggered from Ignition, and when it arrives, we're going to see that it includes a troubleshooting guide for this specific alarm. So depending on what the issue may be, these documents could include a written troubleshooting guide, a training document, an electrical diagram, or even a short how-to video embedded directly in the squeak. So this means the responder doesn't have to search through shared drives, old emails, or physical binders to find the information needed to resolve the issue. SQUEAKS is able to pull the correct resources in automatically based on the alarm type coming in from Ignition. In this next example, we're going to see that since nobody has immediately claimed this specific squeak, SQUEAKS is going to automatically track the elapsed time and follows escalation rules that we have set up. So after the predefined amount of time has passed, the squeak will escalate to the next level, for example, sending a notification to a supervisor or a different team member. And this really ensures that no alarm goes unnoticed and that critical issues get the attention they need, even if the first responder is not available. At the same time, all of these actions are being tracked in SQUEAKS, providing clear accountability and visibility for the team so that nothing falls through the cracks.
So with Squeaks, it captures a complete digital trail of every action that was taken. So every step from the time the alarm actually occurred to the time it's resolved is automatically logged, providing full visibility and accountability for your team. On top of that, each interaction can be tracked and analyzed for performance insights. This allows teams to identify trends, uncover bottlenecks, and continuously improve on your process. By combining a detailed digital record with actionable analytics, Squeaks is able to help teams respond more effectively and really make operations smarter over time. So as you can see on the slide, this is in Microsoft Teams. So Squeaks makes the digital trail fully accessible right within your teams that you're using today. So every squeak, who claimed it, what actions were taken, are recorded, all visible in one place within Microsoft Teams. This really allows team members and supervisors to review past events, confirm that each step of the workflow was followed, and maintain accountability across their team. So by having the digital trail available in Teams, Squeaks ensures that all information is organized, easy to access, and ready to support performance tracking and continuous improvement.
Yeah, so Squeaks makes it easy to track performance across your key areas by bringing critical data directly into live dashboards. Ignition data can be displayed in real time right within Microsoft Teams, giving your team immediate visibility into what's happening on the floor. So, using Squeak's drag and drop dashboard editor, users can create custom views that highlight the information that matters most to them. So they can take widgets that can be arranged, resized, and configured so the most important metrics and data sets are front and center. These dashboards aren't limited to ignition data alone. You're able to display information from other systems alongside ignition, creating a unified view of your operations. By combining multiple data sources in one place, Squeaks really helps teams get a complete picture of performance without having to switch between different applications. Here we're going to see a live dashboard that we've created using that drag and drop editor. And these widgets are going to display metrics and data sets, making it easy for the team to focus on the most critical information. As new values come in from Ignition, we can see the dashboard reflects the changes immediately. This really gives your team instant visibility into key performance indicators and current conditions. By bringing live dashboards directly into Teams, Squeaks makes it easy for those operators, supervisors, and managers to monitor performance without having to switch systems. So teams get a single unified view of the critical data and can act quickly based on what they're seeing. Here we're able to see how the Squeaks bot actually makes training resources easily accessible. So team members can pull up videos, guides, or documents directly within Teams, giving operators the information they need exactly when they need it. So this means training is available right at the point of work, whether somebody is new, if they need a refresher, or if they're troubleshooting an issue. So they deliver training through the same environment where those alarms and dashboards are managed. Squeaks is able to ensure learning is practical, timely, and easy to reference without disrupting the workflow. The Squeaks bot is also able to help send call for messages. So with just a few clicks, team members can broadcast a call for to the right people, whether it's for assistance on a specific task, responding to an alarm, or needing to support from another team. The Squeaks bot can deliver the message instantly in Teams so that way the right people are notified without having to leave their workspace. This ensures that the responses can be coordinated efficiently. By centralizing communication in Teams through Squeaks, your team can stay connected, accountable, and they're able to act immediately when support is needed. So with Squeaks, you can also access OneSource boards directly within Microsoft Teams. So bringing these boards into Teams gives your team a unified perspective on important data, making it easy to see what's happening across projects or processes at a glance. Updates to boards are going to happen automatically, so the team can always see the latest metrics. By keeping everything in one place, Squeaks helps teams stay informed and make decisions quickly without having to switch through those multiple applications.
So with Squeaks, you address this human response gap and receive the following benefits. You're able to respond faster because you're reducing the noise by eliminating unnecessary alerts, ensuring no critical signal is missed because you get a targeted push notification, and accelerate decision-making and mobilization. You also are able to help teams resolve issues faster because we have structured automated workflows that ensure consistency, escalation rules that prevent stalls or bottlenecks, embedded documentation to help with driving that quick resolution process, and also looking at things like root cause and corrective actions to help in the future. With all of this, you now have a new data set you didn't have before to be able to review. So out-of-the-box reporting surfaces trends and performance indicators, enable process refinement and proactive prevention in the future, and really create an organizational memory that compounds improvement over time. So as you can see, by implementing SQUEAKS, we help teams reduce downtime by helping them respond, resolve, and review every event that happens in your operations faster and smarter. So thanks again for joining us today for our final session of our Better Together iGear and Ignition webinar series. We hope you found it informative, and we'll share the recording with you soon. Have a great day.